everybody.
Hello.
We did it today. We're so much better with our tech today. We just need a trial run where we do this once the wrong way, and then we figure out all the kinks, and then we do better the next time. And we actually started 2 minutes early today.
So you can find us.
So that everybody has a chance to find us, because I know yesterday it was such a headache, and I just want to apologize for that. I thought it would possibly be easier to find us if I posted the live video in the event page. Hi Diane, you made it. I thought if it was in the event page it would be easier, and actually it made it so hard I couldn't even find it myself for a while, and I was starting to panic. So
no, I couldn't either. We had struggles like for literally an hour after the video yesterday. We were going like, where's the videos?
Yeah, where's the video? Nobody knows where it is. So thankfully found it, downloaded it. It's now uploaded on YouTube from yesterday. So I've linked it on the, hi Julie, we've linked it on the page that says who, what, why of the 4-day Ned Long, and I linked it in the top of this live video. So if you click on that, not only does that tell you lots about the Ned Long, but you can actually find the link to go to YouTube to watch yesterday's video that you might have missed, and we're so sorry. So
yeah, we did it though.
We did it.
And you guys can find it. So
you can see all of our all of our faces. It's 4 faces right now.
You have to take a picture again.
I am. I'll take a picture because yesterday I took a picture, and I haven't posted it yet though, of what we looked like behind the scenes of our, like, it was ramshackle. Like, we didn't know what we were doing. Okay, this time I'm going to take a picture, and you're going to be so surprised how much like more we look like we got our crap together. We know what we're doing now. Hi Sheree.
Setup.
Absolutely.
Let's see who's saying hi on YouTube. Sin, Erica, what's up,
everybody.
guys?
Yeah, so we've got people. You are in the right spot. Yeah, so we've got we're going up on YouTube, on Lauren's channel, and on Facebook on my page. Yay, B! I know, because I did it right this time. Like a person who knows tech. I swear I thought yesterday's plan was going to be like, I thought it was so cool. No, it was a bad plan, and I'm sorry, but now I know. I've tried it both ways. Now I know that this is how it works if you want people to see it.
Nope. Yeah, I did the same thing. I literally did an event in YouTube, thought you guys were all there, and then I'm sorry. So, but we got it. You guys
are
it. Pat, you found us easily.
Yay,
hi, Linda,
you.
Princess, June,
so
Winnie,
Jessica. Hi. Oh my gosh.
Hi, everybody.
Jessica carries my little local friend.
Hi, Jessica. I know who you are.
We Lucinda. I know. Oh my gosh, Kristen's on the train. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for coming back, even after yesterday was a mess. I really appreciate it. We're excited to come back today to talk to you about yarn, talk about a couple of questions that we've been seeing, because we just wanted to make sure everyone has the information that they need.
Yes.
So we're going to dive in. First, I'm going to start by talking about the yarn color I was wearing in my sweater, because a couple of people were asking about that yesterday.
I get a whole bunch of emails.
Yeah, Lauren was like, here are all the questions I got in email. And we were like looking through, what's everybody asking? What do people want to know? And it's called Nynaeve, and it is spelled, I don't know if you can, is this make it backwards?
Yep. No. N-Y-N-A-E-V-E.
So on Facebook, it's not twisted around, but on there, it's backwards. That's interesting. Oh yeah, we're flipped.
Yes, we're flipped.
Okay. So anyway, it's this kind of hay colored honey gold, you know how I am, like yellow gold hay colored sweaters are my jam. So of course this was perfect. In fact, when I was trying to decide on the color I was going to use, I was thinking about Fame, which is another yellow that Lauren has, which I love. And she's like, hey, Fame is great, but also I just have this new color that I think you might like, and it reminds me of you, so maybe you would want to try it out. And she sent me a picture, and I was like, yep, I think you designed that for me. So I love it. It matches all my blue things, because you know me and my yellow sweaters. I pretty much designed my whole wardrobe around wearing yellow sweaters.
And that's all she's been wearing this entire time. Like, we can't get her out of it, so.
I can't stop. So, yay. Oh, everybody's saying that they found it easily. That's great. That's yes, Kim, it is a familiar choice. I don't know if I'm ever going to get sick of yellow sweaters. Ooh.
Betty Davis eyes.
Betty Davis eyes. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I love blue. So you guys are going to have so much fun. We're going to talk about yarn. Okay, I wanted to go off of the Nynaeve that you're talking about.
Perfect.
So basically the entire collection that we came out with was because of this sweater coming out. So
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
You're so good.
So we came up with all of these sophisticated tonals, all of the new ones that are out, because I thought it would look beautiful for this sweater.
This is gorgeous. What is this one?
Avienda.
Avienda. Of course, it's so pretty.
Mauve. Well, you love mauve.
I didn't know I loved it. I
You
only
do.
just
You
started
pick it.
recently. I know, it's a new thing. It's new to my very small color repertoire.
So all of you guys who are looking for yarn, the sophisticated tonals are the collection that we are telling you guys this is gonna look beautiful. But if you want anything else, we do have tonals too. So
Absolutely. So lots of good. In fact, I've been hanging out in the lolodidit studio the last couple days, and there's so much yarn. There's so much good yarn here. I want to just shove all my bags full. And unfortunately, I didn't bring an extra suitcase. I really wish I would have.
oh my gosh,
I
she
know.
has been shopping now. She's been like, can I have this?
Well, this one's pretty. Oh, this is pretty. Oh, maybe I need this one. This is my new favorite. Yeah, it's a sickness, but we all share it, right? We're all together in this.
This is why we're in this industry, you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I am so excited to see what colors you pick. I know I've been seeing a lot of people pop up telling me which colors they're going with. So that's really, Laura said ship the pretty yarn to my house. That's a good
Yes.
plan, Laura. You're right. Absolutely.
Yes.
That's a good way to go. I might have to do that.
Maureen, Rivendell, what are you guys picking? What are your colors?
Yeah. And yes, Kim, our husbands are hanging out right now. We don't know what they're up to. Probably no good, but
They're getting in trouble, I bet.
I'm sure they are.
Because we're like, bye, and they're like, yay!
I know.
They're like a bunch of 12-year-olds going out in Las Vegas. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Hello Gorgeous Princess Tea. You know what? That is one that I absolutely love. I have some Hello Gorgeous in actually your other yarn base, the Guernsey Sport, because I'm going to do something with that down the road. Because yes, you know, Marcia, it's not an open studio, so you actually can't come visit. I basically had to force my way in.
She
wasn't
really
even
did.
gonna let me come.
I was like, you're not allowed. I had to get special permission from my landlords to have extra people here. It was kind of weird.
Serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, they
You
just don't
guys,
even
and that's what I had a whole bunch of people yesterday message me on Instagram and YouTube and be like, hey, can I come to your studio too? I'm like,
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I just saw a question from June on your YouTube, and she was asking if the sweater is too difficult for a new knitter. So I'm going to say it depends on what you mean by new. So if you know how to knit and purl, you understand how to increase, you know how to decrease, you know how to make yarn overs. If you're comfortable like looking up a tutorial for a stitch you're not familiar with and you kind of feel like you have an adventurous spirit, then I think you can do it. Absolutely. I've seen, gosh, last year people knit Beekeeper for their very first sweater, and I feel like that was way more complicated than this year's sweater. So as long as you're comfortable with the basics, and I would say if you've never knit anything before, this probably shouldn't be your very first knitting project, but if you've knit some socks and shawls and you feel like I just want to branch into sweater knitting, I think you could do it.
Totally.
You might need a little help, but we've got this great community in the Knitters Lounge on Facebook, and so many awesome yarn shops are participating, and so lots of great help and support. So
yes,
you're not in it alone, basically, is what I'm saying.
their Knitters Lounge, the Knitters Lounge at Olive Knits is fantastic, and their moderators are amazing. If you guys are in this chat, you guys are amazing. You guys are you help everybody. I mean, I've even
They're so
posted
good.
questions. You guys always answer.
Yes, exactly. They're so good. I see Judy is on
Hi,
here.
Judy.
Hi, Judy. Hi, Marianne. So Diana's debating between classic neutral or a rich color. That's so hard. So hard. I know. Hi, Gail. Gail was one of my very first test knitters. She's in that group I talked about yesterday when I was
Yes.
talking
Hi,
about that group.
Gail.
She was one of them, and she's here too. Yeah. So we've got some notes.
Yes, we have notes.
I will talk about a thing, and then you talk about a thing, and then we'll just keep taking turns.
Perfect.
Or do you want to talk about a thing first?
No, you go. Yeah, I know what you're talking about first. That's the question that was actually my number one question that I got last night through email. So
Okay,
you talk
I'm gonna
about that
answer.
one.
Okay, so the first question we've been getting a lot, mostly everyone's sending it to Lauren, which is funny. I talked about this yesterday, so I'm going to talk about it again, and I will make sure and take a little more time to go in depth. But people are asking, what does positive ease mean? And if you've taken classes with me, you know I talk about this a lot, and I also talk about it in my book. So if you have my book on your shelf and you haven't looked at it yet, open the front, because there's a whole big, not big, but there's a whole chapter about this where I talk about figuring that out. But positive ease means, think of positive, I always think of it as a positive thing, but really think of it as addition. So if you are knitting, like let's say your full bust measurement, like the measurement around the boobs, is 36 inches, and you knit the size 36, this pattern has 6.4 inches of positive ease, which means it will be 6 inches more than 36?
You're asking the non-math person.
42?
You guys, I dye yarn for a living.
42 inches. The finished pattern the finished sweater, when you're finished with it, will actually measure 6 inches more than 36 or whatever size I said. I'm probably like mixing up my numbers now, but it just means you already have extra room. So positive, think of it as addition, like there's already added space built into the pattern that you don't have to do anything about. Like you don't have to add that yourself. So many times when I'm teaching workshops, knitters will say, oh, I always round up a size or two because I don't want it to be too small. And what happens is that you end up knitting a sweater that's really huge for you. This sweater has room already built in. It's been added into the way the pattern fits. So if you knit your actual size, the finished measurement will be 6 inches bigger than that. That's what positive ease means. The ease means the room, that you can have extra room in your clothing. Just like if you go to the store and you buy, kind of like the difference between, like you go buy a medium in this brand, it doesn't fit the same way as a medium in this brand or this brand. It's because every pattern is different. So it doesn't mean that every pattern has positive ease. Some of them have no ease, which means it's a tighter fit. Some have more or less ease. This one has 6 inches of ease based on the list of sizes. So there's room in there. So if it's like, I don't know what ease means, it just means it's going to be comfortable. It's going to be a little bit roomy, so it doesn't fit too tight. So you don't have to do anything special. You just do have to make sure you get gauge, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to see if there's any questions about that. Does that explain? I'm looking. No one's asking. So hopefully that gives you what you need to know about what ease is about. Typically, I just always say positive ease is a positive thing because most of us want a little extra room in our sweaters. This one has the extra room, so you don't have to worry that it's going to fit you too tight. You don't have to round up a size at all.
No, it's pretty roomy.
Yes, it's roomy.
Yeah, I love it. I like the fit of this one. The Stillwater was a little more fitted. This one is a relaxed fit. You can wear it with a t-shirt and a pair of jeans if you want to, or you can dress it up with a blouse. So you guys, you've got it going on. Knit your size.
Yeah, knit your size. It's really comfortable. Thanks, Laura.
Yay!
Yes, it's 6 inches positive ease, and it says that in the packet, but it's in there with a lot of other sizing information, and I know that that can be, there's just, when you're reading through a lot of information, you don't always know what you're looking at, and so that's what that means. So that extra room already in there for you. You're gonna love the fit, and you can wear it over even layers. It's also nice because sometimes, you know, we fluctuate in size throughout the months and years. That's just how our bodies are, and this is gonna give you a lot of flexibility that way. You don't have to worry it's gonna be too tight next year. It should have like enough room to grow. Not that we want to grow, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
It's flexible.
Yes.
So
if you go on a desert island and eat chocolate cake for a month,
you got a sweater
some
that
room.
will fit. All right.
If you guys didn't see yesterday's, you gotta watch yesterday's.
There were nachos and chocolate cake
Yes.
conversations. That's what you missed.
Okay, so I've had a whole bunch of questions asking about dye batches and dye lots.
Okay.
So we dye in extremely small pots. Okay? We dye in extremely small pots, but we have dye dates because we dye all of them at the same time in the same batch. So that's what, whenever you look at your yarn tag, you're looking at the date because that is the day we dyed it, and we dyed them all of those colors, all of your yarn at the same time, but they might not be in the same pot. Okay, so what that means is you're going to get a very slight variation. We try really hard here. For all of you guys who are our customers, you know we are really consistent. We have really good, you're going to get some great colors and they're going to work for you. But what we do recommend is that you alternate skeins. Okay, and this is something we've talked about a lot today. I do recommend that even if you have the same dye date, you might have a little bit of variation in this skein from the next one. So when you alternate skeins, you're making that an even color throughout. You're not going to get any type of line. You're making it an even color. I'm a big fan of alternating skeins, and as a dyer, I know that there are some minor variations in your skeins. Marie, on the other hand.
Okay, this is a moment of shame. My community knows this about me though, but some of you may not have ever heard me say this out loud. I am a stubborn brat and I do not alternate skeins. I know it's wrong, but I just can't be bothered to slow down to do it. So here's the way I deal with that.
No shame.
Erica says no shame. I accept the consequences of my actions. And what I mean by that is I know there is a very real possibility because of the natural variations that happen with hand-dyed yarn, and this is across the board with all hand-dyed yarn. Variations are part of that natural process. I know that I may have a distinct line in my sweater where I change skeins, and I just accept that as my own, like the result of my own actions. I know that's my own fault. I have no one to blame but myself. I still won't alternate. If it's really distinct, I will sort of start alternating as I get closer to the change.
She's a
That's
cheater
like a
alternator.
But you know what? Either way, I'm like, if it comes out with big lines in it, it's my own fault. I have nobody to blame but myself. So if you think that having a distinct line where you change skeins might drive you crazy, then you should definitely alternate skeins. Don't be a cheater like me unless you're willing to live with the consequences. I know it's
Good
bad.
lesson.
I know it's bad, but I accept it and I don't blame you because I know it's my own fault.
It's your own fault.
It's my own fault.
So guys, when you are purchasing yarn, if you need, you're also
Princess
a cheater.
T.
We love
She's
you.
with me.
So if you guys are purchasing yarn, if you need an extra skein at the end, if you realize that you need her yarn requirements in this are really good. They're spot on with good generosity there in the yarn
You have
requirements.
room to swatch, room if you add a little bit of length,
Yes,
you're good.
absolutely. But if for some reason you added length, you need an extra skein of yarn. If you are purchasing it from me after the fact, after you purchase your one batch, it's going to be a different dye date because we're going through these really, really fast. But if you alternate skeins, I'm really confident that you're going to have an even tone. Just make sure you alternate skeins and you guys will be fine. So that's my biggest question last night, other than what positive ease is. And so that's what I wanted to address today. We are very consistent. We want you to have a beautiful sweater. But in order to do that, I would recommend alternating skeins, though you don't have to. I know we've got some rebels in the bunch. You don't have to, but I want you to know that you're going to get a more even tone throughout your sweater if you alternate skeins. And it's really simple. It's just at the end of each row because it's a cardigan, so you're not in a circle. You're just going to the end of the row. You switch your yarn and you go back. So I do recommend it for you guys. Please, I'm putting in notes. I have little stickers that I'm literally handing out with all of your packages starting on Tuesday that say please alternate your skeins because we're a small batch business.
It's, you know what, that's how it is. I have been scrolling and like kind of multitasking, answering some questions. Oh my gosh, Marianne had a great idea. She said the whiskey is gorgeous and I wonder if a colorway can be created called whiskey, tobacco, and leather.
Yes.
So it's funny she says that because I did a Bourbon Street. So that's bourbon is a whiskey. I always forget what it means. It's like bourbon is a whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So,
but bourbon is a whiskey, and this one is called Foxtrot, and it's also in her yarn. And so I'm going to do one called Tango. So it's going to be whiskey, tango, foxtrot. That's what that made me think of with whiskey, tobacco, and leather.
Yes. Oh, it's going to be so
I feel like
fun.
those could be some awesome colorways.
Marianne, we're going to do it. I'm writing it down right now on my phone.
Michelle, I just have to say, Michelle also doesn't alternate skeins, and she also accepts the consequences of her actions.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle.
I'm cool with it. I mean, if y'all don't want to answer alternate skeins, I'm like totally okay with that. I'm just informing you that this is how it works
Exactly.
with small batch yarn.
And Lily does the cheater method.
Method.
Like the kind of right before she's alternating. That's amazing.
I usually don't start alternating until after I get to like a good 2 inches. Then I start alternating.
Okay, that's
because
good to know.
because it's just such a little tiny strip of yarn that I don't want to like mess around. But 2 inches right here, and then I alternate.
Okay, that's a good rule of thumb. I like that. Tiffany, one of the moderators, hey Tiffany, said she doesn't alternate either. So
You guys,
I
I'm
know.
shocked.
Yes, Debbie said she assumes she can Google how to alternate skeins to find out how to do this. Would you describe in more detail what that process is like?
Sure.
Since I clearly don't do it. I
Yes.
should be the one talking
Okay.
about
I'll
it.
just bring out my sweater here.
All right.
Okay, so we're knitting all the way at the bottom. Oh my gosh, I almost lost my phone.
Okay.
Okay, so we're knitting through the rows.
Oh, hold on. Come closer because it's like kind of dark. There we go.
We're knitting a row. We're going all the way down the row.
With one skein
With
of yarn. With like
one
one
string
strand
of
of
yarn.
Mm-hmm.
You get all the way to the end of your row, and you've got your strand of yarn. You drop that strand of yarn that you're working with. You pick up the next one.
From a separate skein. So
From your
like you
separate
wind two
skein.
different skeins.
and then you knit across the next row.
So
That's
do you
it.
do it every 2 rows so that, because you have to go there and back?
As soon as you go there, you come back, and then you switch your yarn.
There and back, switch, there and back?
Yes.
Okay.
And honestly, there's so many. You can definitely Google this. We could probably do something and show you guys how to alternate skeins. It's not hard. It could take us 5 minutes. You know, we can show you how to do this, but there's also a lot of moderators in the Olive Knits group
Absolutely.
who can help you guys with resources and
Yes.
things like that. So it's there. You can totally do this.
And just try it on your swatch. Just, I mean, it's so easy. It's all you're doing is picking up a strand from the other skein and then working 2 rows with the other strand, and you just carry them up the sides. You don't cut them every 2 rows. You just
No,
keep them
carry
dangling and then just bring it up and then knit front and back and then bring it up. And so you'll just have like this little twist going up the side where you are carrying up
Yes.
the side.
One of the swatches that I did, I actually did alternate 3. I literally had 3 little tiny chunks of yarn, and so my entire swatch is alternated between 3 chunks of yarn.
Because you just had them
Because I just had leftovers, and so I made a little swatch. So you guys can do this. This is easy. You can
So
do
easy.
this.
You can totally do it. So Meryl said she learned on her Gansey because she didn't alternate skeins, and that was hard for her. She didn't like the results. So she's probably going to be a lifelong
Meryl, you're
like a alternator.
I did that. That's what I did. I had a shawl that I knit, like one of my very first shawls, and I was like, oh my, you could see the transition. And I dyed the yarn, and I dyed them in the same pot. I knew that they were dyed together, and it's still, you could see that transition, and it made me, so I ripped it out and did it again. And I alternated from then on, so.
And she's a believer now.
I'm a believer.
I'm sorry, Meryl, that stinks. Yes, Debbie, you can do it. Yay! I
can do
thought, did we have any questions over there? I think that
Some people, did you start them at separate times so they don't run out at the same time? Yes, I
Oh.
do. That's why I do the 2
Okay.
inches first. So I do 2 inches, and then I start alternating so that every approximate 2 inches I need to run, like when I run out, I have 2 more inches to do another skein
perfect.
of yarn.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's great. Now it looks like you're really far back because we keep switching this.
Hello.
All right, so
We're literally like
I know
touching.
We're sitting so close so that we're both on here. It really is funny. It's funny how you have to. We'll show you our setup. It's ridiculous. We're fun. Okay, so now I will chat for a second about swatching. I talked about this yesterday too, but just to kind of reiterate, you do not need to swatch in the lace pattern. That's just for fun. I put that in the packet because I know so many people really want to get a feel for what their yarn is going to look like in the cool part of the pattern. It's one thing to swatch in stockinette, but if you swatch in the lace, you get to really see how it looks, and then sometimes that'll help you decide if you want to go with a different color, or you know, maybe you start to doubt yourself. So that is optional. But what's not optional as much, so Lauren's like advocating for the swatching or the alternating. I am advocating for you to swatch. If you are going to knit yourself a sweater, you want it to fit. And I cannot tell you, I used to get these emails all the time. I don't get them now because I keep talking about this in my classes, and now everyone's like stopped emailing me this because they're like, oh, we don't want her talking about us in class. I never name names, but people would email me and they would say my gauge was close, but my sweater doesn't fit. And there's really no, I mean, like close, what we think of as close isn't really close. Most of the time when you are swatching, if you're a half a stitch or 1 stitch off, when you translate that into the whole body of the sweater, it can be a difference of many inches. I've seen as many as 7 to 10 inches larger or smaller because a swatch was so different. Now, if you are using Lauren's yarn, it's probably not going to be that far off, but you do need to keep in mind if you're a looser knitter or a tighter knitter, you may have to, Princess T swatch for Beekeeper. Yay, good job, Princess T. But if you have, you know, adjusting your needle size will help you with your gauge, but I really want you to cast on, like, let's say cast on 30 stitches. I'm a real stickler, so sometimes people will cast on exactly what the pattern says. So if it says, I don't know what the pattern says, we're just going to estimate 24 stitches and 28 rows. That I don't think that's it for this, so don't quote me on that. But if it says that, they'll cast on 24 stitches and knit 28 rows, and then they measure edge to edge. And that's not what I want for you, because you're not going to actually get an accurate gauge measurement that way. So cast on 30 stitches and knit 30 rows, Oh, it's 20. Thanks, Erica.
Yeah.
Cast on about 6 more stitches or so and knit a few extra rows so that when you're measuring, you're actually measuring away from the edges. You're measuring whole stitches. That way you can find out exactly, like more accurately what your gauge is. Make sure you're swatching with the same type of needle you're going to use for your sweater. Don't swatch with a bamboo needle and then knit your sweater on a metal needle because that can change your gauge. Don't swatch on a square, those cubics needles, and then knit your sweater on round needles. You know, whatever needles you're planning on using, use those. And I'm also a big believer in not babying your swatch too much because sometimes we're really thoughtful about that swatch and we like take such precious sweet care of it. And then we go to knit the sweater and we're like laughing and talking to friends and we're putting it in and out of our bag and we're having a glass of wine and a cup of coffee and, you know, like life happens. So our gauge can change. That's why gauge swatches sometimes lie because we're really careful about the swatch and then we're knitting the sweater and we're just like throw caution to the wind.
Yes.
So,
I was telling her that we're Ubering here to the warehouse, and all of a sudden she's talking about gauge and swatches. We're getting ready for this, and I was like, yeah, my gauge is not the same as my sweater, and you were like, oh my gosh, does it fit? So my sweater fits.
Yep.
But you guys, I swatched way like 2 weeks ahead of when I was gonna knit the sweater. Then I'm on a time crunch because Marie's gonna be here in literally a week.
And I did not make her finish it before I got here.
I didn't
by the
finish
way.
it.
I did
But
not
I
make her.
really tried. So literally in a week, I'm knitting under stress, and I knit a lot tighter than what I thought I would knit. And so then my gauge is off. And so you guys really put yourself in the mindset. Like if you're gonna Netflix this thing, then Netflix while you're swatching.
Amen.
You know, like if you're going to chit chat with friends and have coffee, if you guys are gonna do like your own group knit along, have a little group knit along of swatching. So you're in the same mindset.
Absolutely.
Plus a swatch party sounds like fun.
A swatch party does sound fun.
Yeah.
I can't believe I've never thought to do that. Susan Crafts just asked, and I don't know if she missed the first part, but I just want to address this. She asked, do you go up a size with a new knit along pattern? No. So make sure you watch the first part of this video if you missed it, where I was talking about that, where you do not need to go up a size. Just knit your own size. The room is already in there. I just want to make sure I mention that. Ellen asked, how do you alternate skeins in the round? And it's basically the same thing, except instead of going back and forth, you just like knit 2 rows, and then you just, you know,
crisscross,
and then knit 2 rows with the other one. So they're being carried on the inside.
Hecklickle, oh my gosh, that's a wonderful method. I am not doing a video on that though, because you guys have to look that up on that method. So the Hecklickle method, I can link that for you guys. You can email me. I can put it in the thing under the YouTube, whatever. But for alternating skeins, which is for the cardigan, which is straight rows, I can definitely do a video for you guys for that.
Awesome. Lots of my people who are my like longtime knitters, Jennifer Ross being one of them. Hi, Jennifer and Rhonda. They're following. They're like preach about the swatching.
It's important.
It makes such a big difference. It will be the difference between a sweater that fits and a sweater that doesn't. If you've ever knit a sweater, maybe in your life you've knit a few, and some of them fit and some of them didn't, and you're like, what? I don't know what I did differently between them. Why does this one fit and this one doesn't? A lot of times it's that your gauge, like a lot of people just jump in. Hey, I used to be that way. I would just jump in and knit sweaters and never thought about gauge really. I didn't know it was important. I was like, I'm knitting with the right size yarn and needles. I should be good to go. It's so much more complicated than that. So make sure you're swatching.
And it's also a difference between how the fabric feels too.
It is.
So like my gauge swatch was a lot looser. And so it's a really nice drapey fabric. And then I knit my sweater and it is a lot denser.
It is denser, but you were saying you get, like if you're on a time crunch, you get more tense and you knit tighter. Yeah. I can tell. But this will fit you great.
Oh, it fits great.
Yeah.
That's what the beauty of this pattern is, because it has that 6 inches of ease. I'm good to go. It's totally okay. But just think about that when you guys are swatching. Put your guys.
So did you say this is Blackberry Jam?
Yeah.
Can I tell them what you told me earlier about Blackberry Jam?
Sure.
This is the very first. On YouTube, or at least on your monitor, it looks great.
Yes.
On mine, I don't know if you can tell, but it's this really deep kind of Blackberry Jam with hints of wine.
Yeah.
That was her very first color she ever came up with. It's so
very,
pretty.
very, very first.
It's so pretty.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm just scrolling. See, Marianne was a non-swatcher, and she's a swatcher now too.
Good.
Yes, big swatch, no edges, edge stitches lie. Yes, yes, yes. Hi, Sherry. Yes. Okay, so Karen, Karen, pop back and start from the beginning, because we kind of went into some depth about that. So absolutely, we did talk about that.
Every 2 rows. Yep.
Hi, Erin. I don't know why you said whoa whoops, but hi, welcome. Yay! Oh, Karen said she loves the swatching, and she's sewn her Gansey from the January Gansey pattern that I did a few months ago. She sewed those swatches together and made her kitty a cowl. That matches the sweater.
That's so cute.
Debbie is asking Whiskey Kiss or Yeti. Okay, can I just say really quick, both of those I love so much, and I think probably to Lauren's dismay, I am in love with Yeti. I know like you're like, it's not exciting, it's just Yeti.
It's
I
Yeti.
love it. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
But I also love Whiskey Kiss, so I'm gonna say you can't go wrong either way.
No. No.
And Sarah
Both
would.
really
Hi,
beautiful.
Sarah. Sarah's gonna use Blackberry Jam.
Yay,
That's so
thank
exciting.
you, Sarah.
Erin just ended up redoing the math for the entire sweater based on my gauge. You know what? You can certainly do that too if you want. Some people don't want to. You know, Pam, I just saw Pam saying she was watching on YouTube. I don't actually know if it's the difference on YouTube or if it's I think it's my monitor. So it's just whatever your monitor is how it's going to look. I don't know if it actually is going to make a difference. If you're looking on your phone, it probably looks the same either way.
If you guys want to see the true colors,
Go to my website.
Go to my website and then turn your screen brightness all the way up. That's what I always recommend. If you want to see like how I intended you to see the colors, turn your screen brightness all the way up, because that's how I make sure that the colors are good.
And I think what's interesting is I look at colors on my laptop and then I double check on my phone. I look them up on my phone and they look very different between the two. So if you have the option, like you have an iPad and a phone, or a laptop and a phone, pull up the same color and look at it on 2 different screens, because it will look very different. Kind of like with what we're talking about.
Yes.
With Facebook and YouTube. And I think it's just more to do with my laptop color is not as vibrant as your iPad.
Use the newest device that you have. The newest possible.
Okay.
If you have like a new iPad, new iPhone, whatever, that's going to be your truest color.
Cecilia said this will be her first sweater.
Yay, Cecilia!
And welcome to that. You're excited but nervous at the same time. Totally understandable. I think anybody starting their first sweater is like, it feels like such an exciting and terrifying adventure, but you are going to be fine. You are absolutely in the right place. Like, if you're going to knit your first sweater, do it with thousands of friends to support you. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, you're going to love it. I'm so excited for you to like get into sweaters. I am obsessed with sweater knitting. So I am all about, like, I'm an enabler. If I can turn people into sweater knitters, like, my work here is done.
This is what she did to me. This is what she did to me. I was a sock knitter, knit socks. So then I wanted to knit sweaters, and so I bought a sock machine so that I could knit more sweaters.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy?
That's why you bought the sock machine?
Yeah, she was asking me about my sock machine. I bought it because I wanted to spend my time knitting sweaters instead of spending my time knitting socks.
That's hilarious. I love it so much. Okay, I have to scroll way down because every once in a while I start to answer someone. Hi, Becky. I just typed a response to Becky and then I lose the comment thread and I have to go way down. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so that was about swatching. So the end of the swatching conversation is really this. Please swatch. If you're going to knit a sweater for yourself, it's not as important with shawls. It's not as important with hats and socks. I mean, it can still matter, but it's not as important as it is with a sweater, because there really is a lot that goes into the fit, and it is actual math. It is technical math. That means if you get this many stitches in this many inches or centimeters, and yours matches what mine is, it will measure exactly what the finished measurements say. And on that note, please be careful choosing your size. Please read the part that talks about sizes. Think of the sizes, like where it says 32, 34, 36. Those are actual bust measurements. Think of those as like extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, da-da-da-da-da. Think of that. Don't you like my da-da-da-da-da?
Yes, I like that. It's very technical.
It's so technical. But think of that as like picking something off a shelf that is your size, but the actual measurement is, when you put that on, that's going to tell you what that fit is going to be. So look at both the size, circle the one that matches what your bust measurement is, and I'm not talking about your bra measurement. So please be clear on that. We're not talking about the measurement underneath
the band.
Your band, not that. It's the full right across the girls. But then compare that number to the finished measurement, and that's what tells you what the actual final fit will be. Sometimes people go straight to the final fit and they pick the one that is their exact measurement, and then they make a sweater that's skin tight because that doesn't give them any room.
Yep.
So start with looking at the size, circle that, look at what that finished measurement is. So part of getting the right sweater fit, part of it is swatching and getting gauge, making sure that you're creating the right kind of fabric. But then part of it is making sure you also chose the right size. And there's no shame. We are all, learning as we go. If you're trying new things, if you haven't knit a lot of sweaters, it can be confusing. There's a lot of pieces. So that's why I'm just trying to share some information to help you be as successful as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Pam.
And what you have to think about is this is a lot of investment. It's an investment in the yarn. It's an investment in your time. And so spending a little bit of time in the prep it will save you so much, and you're going to be so much happier with the finished product if you spend just that little bit of time on the prep. Because I know, yarn's not cheap. Your time is not cheap.
No.
We're all busy women around here. So I know how valuable this sweater will be to you in the end. So spend the couple of hours to prep for yourself and make sure that you're going to get a beautiful product in the end.
We get so excited to cast on. I'm the same way, but it's like we're going to, we got to do some homework first so that when we do cast on and we jump through all of those, the trials of doing all the different parts of the sweater and we're finally finished, we have something we love and wear, and like you said, it's a big investment, and we want that investment to pay off for you, and we want you to love it.
Yes.
And part of loving it is if it actually fits the person you made it for, because so many people knit a sweater that fits somebody but not them. We don't want that for you.
We want your sweater. Kim said the same thing. It's an investment. Thank you so much, Kim. It totally is.
Also, Susan asked about shipping to Canada. Do you ship to Canada?
We ship worldwide. We ship to everybody. Shipping time varies, but it's approximately 14 business days.
Okay. Vicky. Hi, Vicky.
Hi, Vicky.
So she loves all her lolodidit
yarns.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, Gail, great question. She asked about blocking your swatches. Yes, please block your swatch because you're going to block your sweater. You're going to block your sweaters, right? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So block your swatch and then measure the blocked swatch, because that's how you know what the final fit, like that's what the math is based on. It's based on your swatch blocked, swatch in stockinette stitch, knitting on the right side, purling on the wrong side, so it's a nice flat piece. I don't care, it's fine if you do garter stitch edges, but then you need to make a big swatch because you need to be measuring way away from those. So you need to make sure if you're not measuring over a garter stitch or like right up to those edges, you want to give yourself lots of room. And Jan, so what do you do if size-wise if you're between two sizes? So that's going to depend on which kind of fit you like. So one of the things I would recommend, let's say you are 37 and you're between the 36 and the 38. Go look at the finished measurement for the size 36 and go look at the finished measurement for the size 38. Because it has 6 inches of positive ease, I almost don't feel like you need the extra ease. So probably in this case, I would go down the size. So look at what the finished measurement is for the size, the smaller one. And as long as that still gives you a few inches bigger than your measurement. So if you measure 37 and the finished fit for a 36 would be 42, that's still some good ease. Like that's plenty. But make sure you look at the arm measurement too, because some of, our bodies aren't this standard cookie cutter size. So you may find that you need more room for your arms. In that case, then you would go up a size because you really need the extra room for your arms. If you don't need that extra room for your arms, I would say go down a size. If you're between sizes, I'm going to say that's my rule of thumb.
That's what I did. I'm a 46, you have a 44 and a 48, and I went to the 44. So,
perfect.
Yeah, and it fits perfectly.
It's great. And it's just a matter of having, because this part's all going to be fine. It's just a little extra swing in the body or a little bit less swing. And for cardigans, you don't really need it.
I don't close mine.
I don't close them either.
But you should ask yourself that. I've had a couple of people ask me, like, I like closing my sweaters. So if you're that person that likes to go like this and wrap it around yourself, then give yourself a little bit of extra room. For me, I live in Vegas. I want it open and as loose as possible, like not on my front body.
But I will say, if you knit Stillwater or Beekeeper, those were not designed to close. So they didn't, Stillwater especially was designed to like sit right outside. Beekeeper came closer, but perfect, Laura. But I, for this one, designed it so they actually, can cross. Like you could technically put buttons on and button it because there's little hidden eyelets in that band. So it has enough room for you to close up. Adding length. So you know what, Pam, I don't think that you need extra yarn because there's wiggle room in there. In fact, you may have leftover. So the idea is, because the pattern actually includes information about adding length, and I don't feel like it's appropriate for me to suggest that and then not include enough yarn for that. So so you probably have enough, you have enough to add an extra fox section if you want. You'll be fine. Yep, you have enough for the swatching and to add some extra. You'll be great, so don't worry about that. Hopefully that answered those questions. And Clarice asked about the superwash growing.
Yes. Yes, it grows.
But that's also factored into the design. So I'm going to talk tomorrow about the design, so make sure you catch my video tomorrow. I'm going to come to you from my hotel room, and I'm just going to talk to you all about the design process, about like what goes into designing a sweater that's meant to be knit in a short period of time, and that how it's written for the yarn. So I'll describe that to you, so you don't have to worry about it growing more than what the pattern tells you. The pattern is written specifically for the amount that this yarn grows.
Yes.
Sometimes what people do is they add length because they keep trying it on and they're like, oh, it's not quite there yet, I want it longer, not realizing the length I tell you in the pattern, it's going to grow to the length that it says. So if you add yarn, it's gonna be way longer. And I can't tell you how many people message me and they say, well, I didn't believe you, so I added length and now everything's too long. And I'm like, just trust me. I promise I won't lead you astray.
She really does a good job. I mean, I've knit several of Marie's patterns and also had several sample knit, and I have a close relationship with our sample knitters. And it really is. She does the measurements. I mean, they are really spot on. So trust her pattern. It does grow, but she knows her measurements. She knows it, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry. Becky says, I've never had a sweater not fit when taking time to swatch, especially important if you're substituting yarn. Oh my gosh, yes. It is. Susan said, thanks, Lauren. That's my size. I just didn't want to ask. Oh, bless your heart. You can ask us.
You can totally ask us. I'm all about it. Have you ever watched any of my videos? I tell you exactly the size, what my bust is, how it looks, if it's flattering, if it's not.
Erin, yes, I am going to send out an invite for tomorrow's video. I'm doing it almost one day at a time because I'm just like, yeah.
We're kind of crazy.
We're insane.
We have a lot going on. We are answering your questions in the amount of time that we have. So we really are trying our best to stay on top of it and make sure that we answer you guys. But know that we're having a busy weekend.
It's a little busy. It's a little crazy. And also just leading up to this has been months of preparation and so many people, so many volunteers and helpers. And like, it is quite an undertaking to make this happen. So thank you to everybody who's been part of that, and to your team, because I know you guys have been working overtime.
Yes.
So yes, we are just, we might like look a little haggard and forget our own names, but we are.
Marie, we look gorgeous.
We're gorgeous. There might be like a fancy beauty ring light back there that makes us look really better. I just have to say. Okay, your thing. What question do you have next?
Oh, I have a question next.
Okay.
Okay. Really quick question. Marie talked about this color.
Sorry, I called it lipstick. I'm so sorry.
The colorway name is Amazed. I did switch the search feature on my website, so if you type in lipstick, you can find it. I know. I'm on this, guys. So if you are looking for this colorway that Marie loves, it's called Amazed. So that was just one question.
It reminded me of lipstick, and I feel bad because this morning Lauren was like, do you know how many people emailed me asking me where is the lipstick color?
Where's
I'm
the
like,
lipstick color?
I'm so sorry. That was my own, just like, I don't know why I said that, and now I feel bad. But hey, apparently if you type in lipstick, it'll take you to that.
It'll take you to the correct place. So we love you guys, and we want to make this easy.
Thank you, ladies. Oh my gosh.
You guys are funny.
Thank you. Okay, what's the color on the second row from the top closest to the camera?
Which way?
I don't know. Is
on
it
Marie's side or my side?
Okay, it's a pink. So I feel like it's Rhonda. Okay, tell me when I'm tell me when I'm pointing at it.
Pink color.
Rhonda, tell me. Is it one of these?
Closest to the camera. Okay, it has to be this one. The pink one closest to the camera right here.
Right there?
That is I Love Rock and Roll.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what YouTube's going to pick for the picture, or for Facebook's
us going like this. We're not flipping you guys off.
Sorry.
We're pointing at yarn.
I hope that's the one. I don't know. That's hilarious. You know, we're getting a lot of comments that we're a good team. I feel like we should go on the road together and like just have a show.
We're doing it.
Awesome.
So I think that's all the questions because you answered a whole bunch of stuff that I had written down.
Yes. So just in case if you could not find us yesterday because we basically hid the video from you on accident, we didn't mean to. If you missed it, you can go on. Not only did I post it on my Olive Knits Facebook page, the main page, and I posted it in the Knitters Lounge, which is the private Facebook group, and I posted it on the blog post that says who, what, why of the 4-day knit along. In the top of this video, where it says it's time for our second Facebook Live, blah, 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 in the bottom, that is linked again. If you click on that, it has that blog post. It's the same post that has the list of all the yarn shops that are joining us. Right at the top, I put, if you are looking for the pattern, click here. If you're looking for the first video, click here, and it'll take you to YouTube, and then that way people that aren't on Facebook can also see it. And Pam wants to see the yarns that you made for this sweater. Anyway, so I just want to make sure you can find the video, and it will also, in my newsletter this week, I will link to all the videos in case you missed any of them. You can watch them later at your own time or rewatch them if you feel like there was something you missed that you wanted to find out. And here are all these yarns. Yeah. Are these all the ones that you made? Okay, of these, may I share my favorites?
Yes.
So this one, this Avienda, I just did not know that I needed this in my life. It is so beautiful. It's gorgeous. This is the same color that Lauren was wearing yesterday in her Brunswick. No, Bourbon Street. Maybe I should stop calling all my sweaters things that start with B's. Beekeeper and Brunswick and Bourbon Street and Bentley and Beckett. Do I like B words or what?
You must.
I must. Okay, Avienda. This is gorgeous. In fact, I really almost considered making mine out of this, but I was like, who even am I? I have to knit a gold sweater. Like, how could I knit a sweater this
color? It literally
color?
was between those two colors.
It was. So just so you know, if one of you wants to knit this color so that I can be envious and maybe borrow your sweater sometime, that's all I'm asking. Okay, this is beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't know if I can wear this color. No. Okay, we both agree. I don't wear this color. It's bad.
You can wear this color.
It's beautiful though. It's really beautiful. I wish I could wear this color. This one, the Blackberry Jam. That was her very first color she ever made. I love it. It's beautiful.
You can do that one.
And it's kind of like wine. And you know I love wine. So perfect.
Nuh-uh. Do you really?
Speaking of wine, red wine.
That's your color.
You
can wear red.
Yay.
Yes.
My sister Anna is knitting with this. Actually, that's not I don't know what color she's knitting of yours for this one. I will report back on that. We have to discuss that with her later, but I know she loves this color too. I also love this color. Beautiful. We know that I love Nynaeve.
Nynaeve is your color.
That's my color.
Yes.
Rumpelstiltskin.
This is like Erica, close favorite color.
Kind of green. Yes, Erica. This is a total Erica color for sure. This one is called Elaine. What is that from?
The Wheel of Time.
Oh, I literally don't know what the Wheel of Time is.
Fantasy series that you probably like. I could totally nerd out with you.
Narnia. This is really pretty. This is a nice blue.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. And then this one is
Moraine.
And that's
Wheel
from the
of
book
Time.
too? Okay.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know why I keep asking that question. And then this one is my favorite things, and it's very like deep, rich purpley.
And you've knit with that before in your shawl pattern.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
My Something Good shawl has some of this purple in it.
Yes.
Also, just for the record, Fame is, if you like gold sweaters like me, Fame is really beautiful. I don't know where that is.
Hello, gorgeous.
Laura is ordering Narnia because it's her favorite thing.
Thank you,
Laura, this would be beautiful on you. I've met Laura in person. She's such a honey, and this would be gorgeous on her. I agree with you. I agree.
And then the other one people are ordering are Angry Rhino. Like,
oh, I love
Fame,
Angry Rhino.
Hello, gorgeous, Angry Rhino, and Amaze. Like, those are, like, everybody's getting that.
Hello, gorgeous. And, like, and also Yeti.
Yeti's
it's
really
just
pretty.
this total neutral. I love it so much. Hi, Melissa. Hi, everybody.
Sabrina, I missed saying hi to you yesterday.
How would that look? Okay, Erin is asking, there's a retired colorway that you had a SQ available in variegated. How would that look? Do you know what she means?
I don't know which colorway, Erin, but I like speckles. If it's a light speckled colorway, and you can feel free to email me, Erin, if you want to, but a lightly speckled colorway, like yes, like that. Okay.
Like kind of neutrally lighter ones.
It would look really pretty if you want to do a lightly speckled one. But Erin, feel free to email me, and I'm totally here to help you and see if you wanted a variegated colorway.
I feel like,
and all of our Barely There collection That is all very lightly speckled and will look beautiful in this pattern.
I feel like if it's really like dark or really dramatic color differences, it would obscure the design.
Yeah.
But if it's lighter or more subtle, I think it would be beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
Totally beautiful. And the nice thing is, so if you knit Beekeeper, that was like all over texture, so it was pretty busy. So if you knit that one in multicolors, it felt even busier because they were kind of in, not to say that some people did it and it turned out great, but it just depends what look you're going for. And if you feel like that's too busy, this one, because it's a nice big kind of graphic design, and the whole top is stockinette, I think you have a little more flexibility there. I think you can get away with more.
I've had a lot of people ask me about speckled colorways, and I've been leaning you guys towards something that is lightly speckled. So if you know what colors you like, just let me know, and I'll help you.
Hi, Sabrina. Also, Rhonda said it's up one row, the pink.
Oh, up this one.
What's up there?
That is Wildwood Flower.
Wildwood Flower, Rhonda. Hopefully that's the one. And hopefully that answered your question. Melissa, I'm glad you made it. Erin asked, what's the turquoise over Lauren's left shoulder? Right here. These.
Oh, that is something blue. It was dyed for my sister's wedding.
Oh, I love it. That's so sweet. Okay, I love it. Becky loves mine too. And Judy, I think you might have missed the first part of the video. Yes, we do recommend alternating skeins, but when I save this link and send it out, make sure you click on it and kind of watch from the start because you'll catch a bunch of stuff that we chatted about. Hi, Melinda.
Thank you guys about the colors. I appreciate that.
Okay, Julie wants to know why the rhino is angry.
Well, so my favorite animal is a hippo. So we have a naked hippo. That's our lightest gray. And then when we came out with our next darker tonal gray, my husband said, well, I can't be left out. I want my favorite animal, which is a rhino. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's totally right. And he goes, but I'm angry that hippo got named first, so it's Angry Rhino.
Oh, cute. I love it. I love Angry Rhino. It was a very light pink. And Erin said, you asked me. I don't know. If it's a yarn though, ask Lauren, send an email.
Yeah, send me an
because
email.
I have no idea about the yarn colors. For sure, ask them because they are the experts in all the yarn colors.
Yarn questions, ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Pattern questions, I'll totally answer. But the other stuff, everything else is on Marie's lounge and in the packet. If you have questions about the pattern,
I think she's talking about those, which those are actually, I think, gray. On the very right of the pic above a muted blue.
This one.
Probably that.
This is Call Me Debbie.
Call Me Debbie? What is that for?
It's from The Walking Dead.
Okay.
It's a really, really, really creepy reference, guys, if you guys are Walking Dead fans.
Okay, Walking Dead fans. All right, I feel like we have blabbed on forever, but I think we answered tons of questions, so that's amazing. And now you have lots of resources and good information. If you have your yarn, you have your packet, you can start swatching now.
Yay.
And
thank you, Lucy.
And if you haven't decided yet, feel free to chat about it in the Knitters Lounge, and all of our friends there can help you decide. And you're amazing too, Princess T. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Remember, I will post a little event reminder. I will do this again, same way I did it this time, just right on my Facebook page so that it's not hard for you to find. So in the morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will pop on and talk to you about more just specifically about the sweater and like the things that I think about when designing a 4-day knit along sweater. A lot of people, especially last year, were like, I don't like 3/4 length sleeves and I want to do this. And I'm like, you can totally do those things, but you have to keep in mind there's a strategy with designing something that can actually be knit in such a short period of time. Like you really have to put a lot of thought into that. So a lot of people ask about that. So I thought I would go in more detail about that, and I will do that in the morning. And then we will have one last Facebook Live together on Monday at 4 p.m.
Yes.
And then that will be it for our Facebook Lives, but we will have all these in videos that you can click on and watch later. And then we will for sure see you throughout the knit along and be popping into the Facebook Lounge and things like that too.
Yes.
So, yay! Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see